Right, so as I said, tomorrow the big day, 7 o'clock onwards, our special programming will start, and then maybe 8:39 you'll start getting the first results and the trends coming in. Sometimes these days it happens even faster than you can expect. The counting of Indian elections, I have to say, is something we should be proud of. So much better than what happens anywhere else in the world, and I suspect we're going to see that again tomorrow. Now, what is the big picture? Let's just quickly tell you the big picture as seems to be emerging after the exit polls. As per the exit polls, 6 were done. 2 say BJP sweeping it, 2 say BJP winning, but just about, 2 saying hung. So overall, the exit polls are saying that the BJP is ahead of the SP Congress and that the BSP is coming in third. Also, if you take a look at those exit polls, pretty clearly it's between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, depending on which exit poll you believe. It's also clear by all exit polls that the Akali Dal and the BJP are out of it. That's what the exit polls are saying. In Goa, very clearly the BJP seems to be in the lead as per all the exit polls, but the indications are it could be a hung assembly. Although recent history, you don't have hung assemblies. The party that is winning quite often wins and wins decisively. Goa, by the way, has often defied that. So let's see what happens. One thing which all exit polls are agreeing on, the BJP is set to win Uttarakhand, and that is something that pretty much seems to be coming out. In Manipur, completely confusing picture from all the exit polls. One says Congress winning, one says BJP winning, so the answer will really be thrown up tomorrow. So that is essentially what is being thrown up by that. Now we have a number of guests whom we are going to be coming to in just a couple of minutes and getting them to talk us through that. But let's actually go across to all of our reporters there. Through this show, we're going to be going to our reporters in each one of these states to get a feeling and a pulse from the ground. Amitoj is there, I can see, waiting by in Chandigarh. Nikhil is there in Dehradun. Sunetra standing by in Lucknow. Radhika Borya, I can see her there in Varanasi. Shaditra is in Goa. Lucknow, Alok is there as well. So, my God, all of you are up there, you know, some brightly lit, some less so, with that temple behind you. Let me see, whom am I going to start going to first? Let's just get UP underway first. It is the largest. So, Sunetra, Lucknow, that's where all the excitement is going to be. And the exit polls, behind the scenes, are most people saying, well, the trend seems to be clear after the exit polls?
Well, I'm going to just speak to the people now about how much faith they have in that. We've been speaking to politicians as well. But before that, can I just start by what Lucknow is famous for and where people come over here? It's actually got a lot of references in all the political talk as well. Hazratganj, when Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav were announcing their alliance, they said, some of the party people said, you know, they're going gunjing. And so this is the place that they were referring to. This is one of those famous chaat shops. And if you go to any place in Lucknow, what they talk about is politics today. So let me just speak to a few people over here. You're all Lucknow residents.
Yeah.
So, of course, everyone's just talking about the elections. Do you believe what the exit polls are saying, or does your heart as Lucknow, because everybody, Vikram, of course, knows that everybody is a political expert in UP, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is a political expert. So do you believe the exit polls, or do you believe something else?
I just believe in the exit polls also.
Why is that? So you're a big Modi fans?
No, not particularly. I'm not a Modi fan, but I support all the parties over here. And I would like to see that whatever is the work has been done should be good for the people. Not particularly, I can't say that I'm a Modi fan. I'm a Akhilesh Yadav fan also.
You are?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Sir, do you feel
He's the person
differently?
who has got this metro done over here.
The metro, yes, that is a very, very key thing that people talk about. The metro, the promenade, all the things that make Uttar Pradesh or Lucknow famous. The Gomti promenade.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for D-Day, and D-Day is the tomorrow. And the tomorrow is going to
What
the
does
result
your
day.
inner analyst say? Do you want to tell our studio guests they're wrong? Do you have a different analysis on UP elections?
No, not different analysis. Analysis is the same that was shown on the TV yesterday.
BJP is winning.
I just can't say it.
See, nobody can say that. That's what I find interesting as well. आप भी यहाँ के ही हैं और आपको क्या लगता है टीवी में जो कह रहे हैं भाजपा जीतने वाली आपको लगता है वही होगा?
तो एग्जैक्ट पोल बताएगा ना क्या है क्या नहीं है।
अच्छा, आप किसके फैन हैं?
तो जो जीतेगा उसी के फैन।
So you have it there, Vikram. A wide range of areas. Everybody wants to make sure, but I think we should end by one of the key questions over here. आपके यहाँ पे जो famous है, लोग क्या खाने आते हैं?
हमारे यहाँ तो कुल्फी फालूदा है.
Kulfi faluda or chaat. Well, they always say UP does things differently, including their chaat. So we're going to sample that and wait for the big day tomorrow, Vikram.
Yes, Sunetra, I can see that you have very strategically positioned yourself right next to the food, so I'm going to allow you to get on with it. Alok, on the other hand, is in front of Imambara, if I can see that behind you. So, you know, maybe getting a different sense of a flavor out there also in Lucknow. Before I come across to Radhika Bordia, who's in what seems to have become the political capital in many ways, Varanasi. But Radhika, before I come to you, Alok, what's the sense out there? What's been the buzz ever since those exit polls came out?
Well, yes, absolutely, Vikram. I was asking Sunetra to swap places with me. She refused. So I am here at this extremely beautiful location in Lucknow, Bada Imambara. And I think I'm going to put these questions to these two gentlemen who are with me. आपका नाम क्या है सर पहली बात, और दूसरी बात, क्या आपको लगता है कि ये क्लियर इलेक्शन जैसे बहुत एग्जिट पोल्स कह रहे हैं, या इज इट मोर टाइट इलेक्शन होगा, मेजॉरिटी नहीं आएगी?
माई सेल्फ कमर हुसैन, और जैसा मीडिया शो कर रहा है जिस तरह से, तो वो डिपेंड करता है बसपा के परफॉर्मेंस पे. अगर उनका अच्छा होता है तो बहुत टाइट होने जा रहा है इलेक्शन, और अगर परफॉर्मेंस उनका वैसा रहता है ख़राब तो बीजेपी की मेजॉरिटी आना चाहिए. और साथ ही साथ मीडिया की क्रेडिबिलिटी दांव पे है. अगर अब की बार गड़बड़ हुए तो मीडिया की क्रेडिबिलिटी का जिम्मेदार खुद मीडिया होगा.
ठीक है, हम एग्जिट पोल नहीं करते वैसे, मैं आपको बता दूं. सर, आपसे ये जानना चाहूँगा कि क्या आपको लगता है ये अनलाइकली एक पॉसिबिलिटी है कि समाजवादी पार्टी और बहुजन समाज पार्टी मायावती किसी तरह का टाई अप कर सकती है?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि एक चुनावी सभा में आजम खान ने कहा था कि बीएसपी जो है वो बहुत गंदी नाली की कीचड़ है, और उस पर चांदी का वरख लगाकर जो है वो परोसा जा रहा है मुसलमानों को, और मुसलमान उनको वोट ना दें. तो आज की इस सिचुएशन में जो है, अगर यही गंदी नाली की चांदी लगी वरख की कीचड़ जो है वो खुद अगर आजम खान परोसने जाएंगे अखिलेश को, तो कैसा महसूस होगा?
So I think interesting viewpoints here, Vikram. These people are saying that it could be, it all depends on the Bahujan Samaj Party, so I think we'll have to wait another few hours to see what happens.
Well, okay, we do have guests on the Bahujan Samaj Party in the studio as well, so we're going to throw it to them. But Radhika Bordia, there in Varanasi, you know, I have to say the UP elections became so much about one man, Narendra Modi, and especially in the last phases came in, those big rallies in Varanasi. If, in fact, the exit polls are right and you know, the BJP does end up winning, there in Varanasi, is it pretty much all being considered the Modi factor?
Well, Vikram, if there is excitement to rival Lucknow, it is here in Banaras. I'm here on Assi Ghat, and I can tell you that the people here have been telling me that this is an election like they've never seen it before. Clearly, it is about Narendra Modi. His campaigning in the last phases is something that's been talked about extensively. The BJP faced a lot of dissidents. It's been facing a very, very tough fight. The key question is, was that enough? And while certainly there's been an impact, it's interesting, as one Banarsi told me, you've got to wait till the verdict, because in Varanasi, Ganga ulti behti hai. Actually, the flow reverses in Banaras, and so until the results are out, there are still people discussing, especially two seats, Varanasi South and Varanasi Cant. These two are still facing a very, very tough fight, and so people here are saying we're not going to know if the Modi factor was enough until counting begins.
Right, Radhika, we're going to leave UP there then just for the moment, where I very quickly go across to Chandigarh, because I do have Babul Supri also just about to join us. So I'm just going to go across very quickly to Amitoj there in Chandigarh. Amitoj, I mean, exit polls clearly showed nothing at all about Punjab other than to say that the Akali Dal and the BJP is wiped out, because one says BJP and one says the Congress is winning, one says AAP winning, one says they're going to be tied, or two say they're going to be tied. So not very clear what's going to happen out there. So everything to play for, in a sense, there in Punjab.
Well, yes, Vikram, I want to just start by saying that Navjot Sidhu had said, and while you said play, a cricketer is somebody we should mention, Navjot Sidhu had said that Bhag Badal Bhag, But right now, it's been raining for the last 3 days in Punjab. No badals seem to be running away. No clouds seem to be running away from Punjab. And it's still raining, which is why we are here, all of us actually feeling quite cold. We have the Akalis with us. We have the Aam Aadmi Party people with us. And we have the Congress members with us. But where we are is important. It is the DC office where actually 3 areas counting will happen for them. Mohali is one of them. And 728 EVM machines are out here locked inside, and 2 Aam Aadmi Party people in shifts continue to guard it with watching over CCTV cameras on one desktop. They are that concerned about the security of those EVM machines, but not the other 2 parties, they believe, for whatever reason. But let's just ask the Aam Aadmi Party candidate from Mohali right now what he thinks about that. आपको क्यों लगता है कि आपको यहाँ पे guard करना है machines?
क्योंकि हमारी पार्टी जीतने वाली है जी, हमारे को पूरा शक है पुरानियां पार्टियां कोई भी शरारत कर सकती हैं।
इलेक्शन कमीशन पे आपको कोई भरोसा नहीं?
नहीं, भरोसा पूरा भरोसा है, पर हम कोई भी रिस्क लेना नहीं चाहते किसी तरह का भी। हमारे को पूरा विश्वास है इलेक्शन कमीशन पे।
जो पोल्स हुए हैं वो तो नहीं कह रहे कि आप लोग जीत रहे हो, वो एक शायद कह रहा है कि आप जीत रहे हैं।
वो इसको हम एग्जिट पोल नहीं कहते, ये कारपोरेट पोल है। ठीक है, जो ये डिसीजन देते हैं, जो एग्जिट पोल देते हैं, वो होता है 10% लोगों का। ठीक है।
अच्छा, आपने 10 की बात करी, तो मैं इनसे पूछूं, अकालियों से पूछूं, आपको क्यों नहीं लगता कि जो एग्जिट पोल्स हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि आपके 10 या 15 के बीच में वोट आएंगे, सीटें आएंगी, वो आपको लगता है कि बहुत कम है?
बिल्कुल गलत है जी। जो एग्जिट पोल है, आपको भी पता है कैसे चैनल्स वाले एग्जिट पोल दे गए हैं। 2007 की बात कीजिए, 2012 की बात कीजिए, श्रोमणी अकाली दल ने पिछली बार भी लगातार 10 सालों से जब भी एग्जिट पोल आए हैं, पहले भी हमारे खिलाफ आए थे, तब भी हमने सरकार बनाई। लोगों को पंजाब में दिया हुआ जो किया हुआ विकास है वो दिखता है, और कल हम फिर एक बार फिर सरकार बनाएंगे, और आपके जो एग्जिट पोल हैं ये सब के सब झूठे पड़ जाएंगे।
पर एक चीज बताइए, मिनिमम आपकी सीटें कितनी आएंगी? क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल तो कह रही है 10।
एग्जिट पोल का कोई मायने नहीं है जी। 10 का तो एग्जिट, हमारी सीटें कम से कम 75 और 80 के बीच में आएंगी।
ये तो बहुत ज्यादा बोल दिया आपने। कांग्रेस विद अस, आप बताइए कि आप तो जीत ही रहे हैं, आप कह रहे हैं, एग्जिट पोल्स भी कह रहे हैं, पर अगर बहुमत नहीं आई, अगर आप क्लियरली नहीं जीते, तो आप क्या करेंगे फिर उसके बाद?
देखिए, ये जो मैंडेट आ रहा है, जो एग्जिट पोल जो बोल रहे हैं, उससे तो बहुत क्लियर है कि पंजाब के लोगों ने जो कांग्रेस के हक में फतवा दिया है, हम गवर्नमेंट बनाने जा रहे हैं।
नहीं, पर आप करेंगे क्या अगर नहीं हुआ? अगर 61 के ऊपर आपकी सीटें नहीं, तो आप क्या करेंगे?
देखिए, ऐसा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो वो हम एक अपील करेंगे, जो पंजाब का भला चाहते हैं वो लोग हमारा साथ देंगे।
कोई भी हो सकते हैं वो,
पंजाब का भला चाहने वाले कोई भी पंजाब के लोग हो सकते हैं।
Okay, so like we saw, Vikram, with what Akhilesh had said about the BSP, don't be surprised if something happens out here in Punjab too.
All right, Amitoj, thank you so much for joining us. Well, I can see Nikhil's still there in Dehradun, Ishadita's in Panjim, Ratna's going to be joining us from Imphal. But I'm going to just ask you all to just stand by for 5 minutes. I just want to get some discussions around UP and Punjab, and then I'm going to come to the other 3 states that we're actually going to be hearing. So just stand by, the 3 of you. Sorry to keep you waiting. We do have Babul Supriyo now joining us, Minister at the Centre. Wonderful that you could join us. Debashish Jararia, spokesperson of the Bahujan Samaj Party, is with us right here in the studio. Aarti Jairat's with us as well. Mr. C.R. Kesavan is joining us, spokesperson of the Congress Party as well. Juhi Singh is with us from the Samajwadi Party. And we're going to be getting us some other guests also. But Babul Supriyo, before we start discussing the elections, I have to say I'm so happy to see you talking to us on the television screen, because a little earlier in the day, you actually had a court in West Bengal more or less declaring you an absconder and saying that and issuing a warrant. Would you want to just share some details of that with us? It's a bit almost strange that you have a central minister who, you must be going to West Bengal fairly often and being escorted around by the police out there. So how come you're an absconder?
Well, it all happened here in Barkha's show in Buck Stops here, where Mohua Moitra, an MLA and spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, was actually throwing bizarre allegations of money laundering, etc. on our Honorable Prime Minister and myself. Now, her name is Mahua. I just said in jest that Mahua, are you on Mahua? Now, if Mahua means an intoxicating flower or something, I mean, take it in zest. She goes back, files a FIR in police on 162 something, then goes and records a confession with a magistrate 509, and today, though I have not still received the summon, I understand that Honorable Alipur Court has received a charge sheet from police and has issued an arrest warrant on me, calling me an absconder. Now the funny part is that I go to Calcutta almost every week, go to my constituency, and it is the Calcutta police who has their jeeps, and they patrol me across, they take me across, they receive me at the airport, drop me back. So I don't understand what they are trying to do. There was a letter sent from Kirit Somaya ji to the Honorable Speaker, and she sent a letter to West Bengal government asking them to stop filing such frivolous cases. If people start filing FIRs, and what is the charge? Outraging the modesty of a woman. As a woman should understand the implication and the meaning of that, the graveness of that particular line. For saying Mahua are you and Mahua on a TV debate, if FIRs are filed and charge sheets are given in courts, what is going to happen to our country? I don't know. I mean, I have to.
But actually,
as of now, yes, I am on arrest warrant.
So charge sheets are one thing, but the issuing of an arrest warrant against a central minister, that's something else that I think is is something to be taken note of. Just wanted to ask you, what are you intending to do now? Are you filing for anticipatory bail, or are you going to be going there? Did you present yourself before the court when they had summoned you and they had called you?
No, the court never summoned me. There were 3 emails sent to me by the police. I had asked for time in the beginning, and then when the breach of protocol committee from the parliament had sent them a letter and requesting them not to harass me and call me to police stations for interrogation. Everything is on air. So this was a pure case of political vendetta after those 2, Sudeep Da and Taposh Pal got arrested for, this was Didi's way of getting back at someone from BJP. So the police was requested not to harass a minister from doing his work. And I had written back to the police saying that as long as the parliamentary committee does not come out with a verdict, I am not going to appear because everything is in the public domain. That's what it is. It's funny, ridiculous, I don't know what to say.
All right, Babul, Supriyo, now let's just dive straight into the elections, and we'll try and get some comments from all of you. But before, I'm going to ask all of you to just stand by for a couple of minutes, because we do have Mr. Keshav Prasad Maurya joining us, the head of the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. मौर्य साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. अब हम हमारे साथ बात कर रहे हैं. पहला सवाल तो यही होगा कि हो सकता है कि अगर एग्जिट पोल सही हैं तो हम उत्तर प्रदेश के अगले मुख्यमंत्री से बात कर रहे हैं. क्या यह फैसला भी लिया गया है? आपको क्या लगता है ये फैसला कब लिया जाएगा? मान लीजिए भाजपा जीतती है.
एग्जिट पोल जो भी आया है उससे अधिक नंबर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के आने वाले हैं, और यूपी में बीजेपी की ही सरकार बनने जा रही है. मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेगा इसका फैसला तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व को, केंद्रीय संसदीय बोर्ड को लेना है, विधायक दल को लेना है. मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हूं. पार्टी जो भी निर्णय लेगी, केशव प्रसाद अध्यक्ष इस नाते उस निर्णय के साथ खड़ा रहेगा.
मौर्य साहब, आपने आज ट्विटर पर भी कहा था कि अभी तक एग्जिट पोल के बाद समाजवादी पार्टी को बुआ याद आ गई हैं, और शायद आगे कल रिजल्ट्स के बाद नानी याद आ जाएंगी. इसके बारे में आप और कुछ कहेंगे?
मैंने कहा था कि श्री अखिलेश यादव जी को यह पहले से आभास था, जिसे उन्होंने पहले स्वीकार नहीं किया. मतगणना से पहले जरूर, मतदान के बाद और मतगणना से पहले उन्होंने अपनी हार स्वीकार की है, और उन्हें अभी बुआ याद आ रही हैं. आगे और पता नहीं कौन कौन लोग याद आएंगे, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी स्पष्ट तौर से यह जानती है और मानती है कि ये बुआ को मिला लें, अपने दोस्त राहुल गांधी जी को मिला लें, और जो कुछ बटोरना चाहे बटोर ले, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी इतने अधिक नंबर से आ रही है कि समाजवादी पार्टी जी और बहुजन समाजवादी पार्टी, इन दोनों दलों ने उत्तर प्रदेश को बर्बाद करने का काम किया है. उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता इन दोनों दलों को उखाड़ करके फेंक चुकी है, केवल गिनती बाकी है. और कल इसका संदेश उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता का 11 बजे तक ही काफी कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा. और मैं पूरे विश्वास से भरा हूं कि लगभग 300 सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खाते में आएंगी.
उसका तो फैसला कल हो ही जाएगा, जैसे आप कह रहे हैं, पता चल जाएगा कि हुआ क्या है. पर यह भी संभव है, 1-2 एग्जिट पोल ऐसे भी हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि शायद हंग असेंबली होगी, किसी को भी बहुमत नहीं मिलेगा, और अगर वो स्थिति होती है तो फिर जोड़ तोड़ की सरकार बननी पड़ेगी.
पहले तो देखिए एग्जिट पोल जिन लोगों ने किया है मेरी उस पर कोई टिप्पणी नहीं है, उनका सबका अभिनंदन है, लेकिन मैं एग्जिट पोल के आधार पर आपको बयान नहीं दे रहा हूं। मैंने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संगठन की जो ताकत है उसके बल पर बोल रहा हूं। 1,40,000 मेरी बूथ समितियां हैं। पिछले 10 महीने से भाजपा का एक एक कार्यकर्ता जमीन पर काम किया है। समाजवादी पार्टी की गुंडा राज वाली सरकार के खिलाफ लड़ाई लड़ा है। माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के रूप में गरीबों के मसीहा बन करके उभरे। मेरे पास सबसे शक्तिशाली नेतृत्व है। केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा अनेक उपलब्धियां गरीबों के लिए, किसानों के लिए, गांवों के लिए मेरे पास है, जिसके आधार पर भाजपा को समर्थन मिला है। और समाजवादी पार्टी जो सभी मोर्चों पर विफल रही है, विकास के नाम पर धोखा दिया, केवल अराजकता पैदा किया, कानून व्यवस्था पूरी तरह राज्य की ध्वस्त करके रख दिया, जमीनों पे कब्जे किए, सभी क्षेत्रों में भ्रष्टाचार किया। लेकिन
साहब ये सब
इनकी असफलता और केंद्र सरकार की सफलता, इसके आधार पर मैं विजय का दावा कर रहा हूं। केवल एग्जिट पोल ये मेरे दावे का आधार नहीं है।
जी मौर्य साहब, ये सब जैसे मैंने कहा, ये चुनावी फैसला तो हो गया है, कल पता चलेगा कि लोगों ने क्या इस पर निश्चय लिया है। एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूंगा कि अगर आप कई विशेषज्ञों ने कहा है कि आपका भाजपा अध्यक्ष बनाया जाना वहां उत्तर प्रदेश में, उसका भी काफी असर पड़ा, क्योंकि जो नॉन यादव, जो यादव नहीं थे, बाकी जो ओबीसी थे, वो सब भाजपा के साथ शायद आ गए। अपर कास्ट थे, पहले से थे, बाकी जो नॉन यादव, जो यादव नहीं थे, वो ओबीसी थे, वो भाजपा के साथ आ गए। क्या आप इससे सहमत हैं? क्या इसका असर पड़ा?
देखिए, सपा बसपा कांग्रेस ने मिलकर के देश में और मेरे उत्तर प्रदेश में इस प्रकार का माहौल पिछले बहुत समय से बनाया हुआ था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी अगड़ों की पार्टी है। सच इसके विपरीत था। 2014 में जब माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोकसभा का चुनाव लड़ रहे थे, उस समय लगभग उत्तर प्रदेश का, चाहे वो पिछड़ा वर्ग हो, चाहे अनुसूचित वर्ग हो, चाहे अगड़ा वर्ग हो, सबको यह समझ में आ गया कि ये सपा बसपा कांग्रेस की तिकड़ी मिलकर के समाज को तोड़ना चाहती है, जाति के आधार पर राजनीति करना चाहती है, बंटवारा करना चाहती है। 2014 में जो एकजुटता कायम हुई थी उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर समाज के सभी वर्गों में, वह एकजुटता 2017 में भी देखने को मिल रही है। और मैं पूरे विश्वास से कह सकता हूं, हम 2017 भी जीतने जा रहे हैं और 2019 में फिर से 2014 दोहराएंगे। 73 नहीं हो सकता, इस 2019 में 80 की 80 सीटों पर कमल खिले, क्योंकि देश भी मोदी जी को फिर से चाहता है और उत्तर प्रदेश तो पूरी तरह से मोदी जी को दोबारा भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में चाहता है।
मौर्य साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने हमसे बात करी। कल फिर से जरूर कोशिश करेंगे आपसे बात करना, जब एक बार नतीजे आ जाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप हमारे साथ थे। All right, let me quickly now go across to everyone and get some reactions to that. And I'm going to start off with you, sitting out here from the Bahujan Samaj Party.
I have a message for मौर्य जी कि गलतफहमियों के सिलसिले बड़े दिलचस्प है। गलतफहमियों के सिलसिले बड़े दिलचस्प है। हर ईंट को लगता है कि दीवार उस पर टिकी है। सो ही शुड कन्वे दिस मैसेज टू मोदी जी कि उनको लगता है कि आजकल राजनीति का जो परिवेश है वो उनके आसपास सिमट के रह गया है। सो इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट। So everything is, if you see, we have seen the reports also in people in
But
Uttar
the
Pradesh.
exit polls are backing what he's saying.
See,
I mean, and, you know, the only question whether he's going to be chief minister or somebody else.
What is the credibility of exit poll? We all know here. Even if the people of the UP are not accepting that those exit poll, we have seen in the reports also. So we must wait. Maurya ji is making tall claims, but it could be gone in a different way as has happened in the past also.
Luckily, we didn't do an exit poll, so I don't have to defend them or their credibility. We're only reporting what other people are saying in their exit polls. Juhi, let me just get you in from a Samajwadi Party point of view. He's saying that the fact that aapko Bua yaad aa gayi, in a sense, it's almost an admission of the fact that you don't think that the Samajwadi Party and the Congress are going to be winning. That essentially is what he says. And he says that tomorrow you're going to remember a whole lot of other people.
Frankly, Vikram, whether it was Babul or whether it was Azam Khan or now Mr. Maurya, I think politicians should not shoot their mouth off. Thoda samajh ke they should speak. But Mr. Maurya can say, and he was giving his chief ministerial entire election speech, but he's forgotten that the polls are over. And exit polls as they stand, I am not quarreling with their numbers. They state tomorrow the results will be out, and we are confident that we are going to make a majority government with the Congress. I agree with the BSP's representation. I mean, actually Mayawati has really been written off by the exit polls, and I don't know why, because yes, on ground she does exist. And that's not got anything to do with the Bua and Nani.
No, I was just about to say that. I'm both interested and fascinated to see the extent to which the Samajwadi Party has suddenly started to agree with the Bahujan Samaj Party. And who knows whether this is going to be the trend in the next few days.
That's a very personal comment. That's a very personal comment.
Okay, I'm just noticing the fact that you're agreeing with the Bahujan Samaj Party for one. Let me just get Kesavan in on that. Kesavan, are you also starting to agree more and more with the Bahujan Samaj Party, especially if it is a hung assembly?
See, the first thing, Vikram, is, we're very confident that the voters will repose faith in our alliance tomorrow. And, you're an experienced anchor. You don't take exit polls with a pinch of salt, but with a bowl of salt. And, exit polls don't determine outcomes of elections. The EVMs, recorded by the voters will determine. Even during the Bihar election, Vikram, your channel at 9:25 a.m. called the election for, the BJP alliance, saying they'll get 145 to 149 seats, but the outcome was completely different. So I think the ground reality is very different, and I think the Congress Samajwadi Party alliance is poised very well. I think it was a very progressive campaign by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav. It was a campaign based on development and change, and I think unfortunately, if you see the way the Prime Minister campaign, it's been nearly 3 years, 33 months since he's been in office, but the way he spent 3 days in Varanasi was criticized by Mr. Upendra Kushwaha in his own cabinet and Shatrughan Sinha. So the desperate, I think three things, Vikram. The demonetization, the demonetization will cost the BJP this election. The people who stood in lines will probably come in line, stood in lines and
so let me ask you,
and that will be a
that's a theory.
tomorrow.
That's your theory right now. So if he wins tomorrow with a landslide, then will you accept that demonetization has been a success? By that same logic of what you're saying, that demonetization is going to cost them. If he wins tomorrow, will that be seen then as a victory for demonetization and as a referendum on Narendra Modi?
Demonetization is one of the big issues, coupled along with the unemployment of the youth and the farmer issues.
Okay.
I don't want to speculate whether the BJP will win tomorrow.
Okay.
I think the Congress SP will do very well.
Okay. Let me just Babul Supriyo, I'm going to get you to respond to that, and Sadanand Dhume, I'm going to come to you. But before I do either of that, I just want to very quickly go across to Manipur, to Imphal, where there's a very crucial election taking place. And Ratandeep there has got the Deputy Chief Minister of Manipur there with him. So let me just go across, and then I'll come back and get Babul, your comments, and Sadanand's comments also on what's been happening. Ratandeep, over to you in Imphal.
Yes, Vikram. In fact, in Imphal, everybody was keen to know what the exit poll would say about Manipur, but the exit poll could not give a clear picture. If Narendra Modi is the man who everybody was looking forward to in the campaigns in UP, in Imphal, it is the Chief Minister Ibobi Singh. Many here see this election as a fight between Chief Minister Ibobi Singh and BJP, but now we are joined by the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. G. Gaikhangam. Sir, some of the exit polls saying that Congress will be thrown out of power.
I think that will not happen. I think Congress will come back to power with absolute majority, no doubt about that.
There is 15 years of anti-incumbency. What are the reasons why people should vote for you?
Anti-incumbency factor is a question of performance. I think the Congress government out here in Manipur has been performing very well. The people are satisfied and happy with the Congress government. That's why I think there will be no anti-incumbency factor that will not prevail upon this election.
Any number of seats that you can now say that yes, we are going to get that?
We'll get absolute majority. If you want to know about the number, the likely number, then the minimum 35 and the maximum 38. So I think it will not go down beyond 35. So I think with the thumping majority, the Congress party will come back to power, and It's for the successive 4 terms.
So here you are, Manipur's Deputy Chief Minister G. Gaikangam clearly saying that they would come to power once again, and 35 seats of the 60 seats, that's what Congress is saying, that is the minimum that they would get. We will get to know tomorrow when the counting begins. Over to you, Vikram.
Right, and because in Manipur, one poll says that that's exactly what might happen. The other one says it's out of the question, it's going to be the other way. Babul Supriyo, let me just come to you on some of the stakes in all of this. And we heard both Mr. Maurya saying, and even some of the others saying, that this is going to be partly a referendum on note ban and on the Modi government itself. Narendra Modi stepped out and really took, put his own face on the BJP's campaign in UP. So to that extent, if there is a victory tomorrow, is that his success? And for that matter, if the BJP loses tomorrow, then will that also resonate on him?
Well, you know, I just want to make one point that development has been the main mantra of our Honorable Prime Minister. And I have, as the Urban Development Minister, I've been to Varanasi several times, and I've seen how the state government have actually put in extra effort to ensure that Varanasi stays a very dirty town, a very dirty city. Swachh Bharat cans lying here and there, half broken, and nothing was done, because see, this cleanliness, Swachh Bharat, everything goes to the state government. As the Urban Development Minister, in my 6-7 trips there, I never got to see Azam Khan Sahab. He was never there in meetings, even with foreign delegation from Japan and all of that. I don't know why the lady from Samajwadi Party, SP, why she suddenly brought up my name as shooting from the mouth. I am not just saying anything apart from the fact that exit polls are a phenomenon. That is all about a cephalologist coming up with numbers before the day of the actual results. So just go through it. If today it shows that BJP is going to do a clean sweep in 4 of the 5 states, accept it. We are in any case going to wait for the results tomorrow. If there is wishful thinking from your side that you are going to sweep, I think there is no reason for us to not have a wish that maybe the exit polls are wrong and we are going to get more seats than it is showing. So accept it. Why attack and and say that this is all exit poll is a process which happens before the results come out.
Right. Well, as I said, we didn't do an exit poll, but still it's always interesting to see. Let me now come to 2 of our top experts who've really been studying this entire campaign very closely and perhaps can also talk to us about some of the implications. Saranand Dhume, let me start with you. Your take on, well, just about everything that you've heard so far, and what you think are the major factors we should be looking for once the results start coming in tomorrow.
Thanks, Vikram. Let me just make 3 quick points. I mean, the first is, I think all of these discussions, once the exit polls are out, always have a bit of a twilight zone quality where, spokesmen from different parties are going through the paces. If you're doing well, you're saying exit polls are terrific. If you're doing badly, you're saying who cares about exit polls, and you see people going through the paces. I would say that if we look at where we are today compared to where we were yesterday afternoon before the exit polls came out, though it's not a certainty that the BJP will win, it looks very, very likely. At this point, if the BJP does not emerge as the single largest party, indeed if it doesn't get very close to a majority of its own, that would be seen as a bit of an upset given everything that we've seen from the exit polls and the reporting before that. So that's point number 1. The second point is that I do believe that you're right in saying that this is a referendum of sorts on the Prime Minister. He has put himself front and center. He is the dominant voice of his party. He has campaigned in an enormously public way, a very, very visible campaign, particularly in Varanasi. And so if he wins, he will get full credit. If by some chance the BJP falls short, I think he'll still be given marks for an A for effort. If the BJP does badly, which doesn't look likely, but which is always possible, then I think he will take a hit for having somehow been responsible. So those are the first 2 points. And the third point is that it's really a question on the question of demonetization. I think we have to separate demonetization as a policy from demonetization as politics. It's very clear that the educated consensus on demonetization as a policy is that this is not the most sensible policy. But it also seems equally clear right now that in terms of politics, it has not hurt the BJP, and it may indeed have helped the BJP.
All right, Sarah, that gives us a lot to think about. Aarti, let me just get you in on that note. You know, there are some who would say, he's right, it's about expectations sometimes. So the fact that the BJP is also talking things up a lot after the exit polls almost sets the bar a little higher, that you would almost now expect them to get 230, 240 in Uttar Pradesh and not just 180, 190. And the fact that the Prime Minister put his own stamp on this, some would say that's leadership. He came out and said, it's for me to deliver Uttar Pradesh, that's why I came out and I did it so publicly. Others would say that also signals a certain amount of confidence. He knew that they were going to do reasonably well.
Well, I don't know whether he knew that they would do reasonably well. I think that's the way the Prime Minister plays his politics. He's always led from the front. He always puts himself out, and he carries the whole show on his shoulders. He showed that right through Gujarat. He showed that right through the 2014 campaign, and he's done it again in state assembly after state assembly.
It's not his nature to play safe and saying, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. Maybe I should.
He takes risks. I don't know the cricketing
like
term for
Notebandi.
it, but yes, he does. And I think that Notebandi, I think that person put it very sensibly, that as a policy, perhaps it was not a good idea. But as politics, I think if these exit poll results are correct, then it has really played out very well for him. Because what the Prime Minister has tried to do is actually establish himself as the pro-poor leader. He's taking that plank away from the Congress, and if these exit polls turn out correct, he will have snatched that plank away completely.
And maybe to add to that, the thing which you said about being a risk taker, I think he also got a lot of credit for that. And you heard this in the weeks and the days after Notebandi. But a lot of people said, well, look, at least he's trying to do something. Maybe it didn't work perfectly, but you can't doubt his intentions and the fact that he actually tried to do something.
Yes.
And Narendra Modi did get a lot of credit for
that. He did. And it is really incredible that, he still has that aura about him amongst people, that people feel he's well-intentioned. He may make mistakes maybe, but he's well-intentioned.
Okay. Let me very quickly go across now to a couple of places I haven't been to. Nikhil's still standing by there in Uttarakhand, but frankly, we almost seem to know what is happening there. Goa, Ishadrita is there in Goa. Goa, of course, the place to be. People keep saying the food there in Lucknow, but Goa perhaps the place to be, especially whenever the celebrations start tomorrow. Your quick sense of what people are saying there on the streets in Goa?
Well, Vikram, the people that I've spoken to since the morning when we came here, they all seem to disagree with the exit poll predictions. We'll just quickly go across to them. So one of the things said is that the BJP is getting somewhere between 18 to 24 seats. Very quickly, what do you guys have to say about that?
Well, it is getting the trend right, but not with the numbers, and not really with the numbers, because it's very difficult to predict election results in Goa, is because the size of a constituency and the issues are very local, and the struggle of the leadership is very local. I think it's always after Goa attaining a statehood, it's the central government, it's a central party which always control Goa. But it was in 2012 when Manohar Parrikar broke that jinx. I think exit poll doesn't really consider the local issues, and it gets the trend right, but not with the numbers like this.
What about you?
Yeah, I think that's I'll have to go with it. I don't think the numbers are right. I think BJP to be in business, you have to take anything between 13 to 15. And then there are a lot of opportunists whom they can rely on.
Yeah, but very quickly, who do you think is this horse trading going to be? Like he said, that if it's hung, there's going to be, of course, a lot of that happening.
This horse trading is going to help the local parties, the local regional parties, which is MGP, and there's another party which is Goa Forward. This is going to help them a lot, because they are going to make the numbers of attaining a majority. They're surely attaining a majority will depend on these parties.
Well, we'll have to wait for tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a big surprise.
Okay. So, of course, Vikram, that really is the mood there. People don't think it's going to be a clear mandate as the exit polls predict, but there are going to be lots of regional parties and individual players, really, who are going to be extremely, extremely crucial once the results start coming out tomorrow. Back to you.
Okay, right. Well, let's just quickly get a word from Preeti Menon, who's there from the Aam Aadmi Party. Preeti, indications from Goa, from everyone on the ground, and exit polls that you're not doing too well there. Hope still high on Punjab, and would you be hoping that that becomes the second state that the Aam Aadmi Party wins after Delhi? Preeti?
We're surely going to win Punjab. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a historic sweep again. We've done our own exit polls. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Carry on.
So what I feel is that what you've got wrong is the numbers, even in Punjab, and you've definitely got the numbers wrong in Goa. Historically, I think all exit polls have treated us unfairly. So I have absolutely no faith in exit polls, as don't most people. It's not just me. And I don't think that the Goa exit polls has anything anywhere close to reality. There is a huge anti-incumbency against the BJP, which has not been visible in the polls. There is anger at them, at Parrikar abdicating from the CM post. None of that has been factored in which we've seen on the ground, we've heard on the ground. So I think results are going to be really surprising tomorrow. I don't think the exit polls for most states are anywhere near reality.
All right. I mean, I should point out, when you're saying, you are saying it, we haven't done an exit poll. So, you know, that's So with that caveat, I think I'm going to end by going across to Nikhil, who's in the one state on which there seems to be, at least among the exit polls, a certain amount of consensus, Uttarakhand, where, you know, everyone seems to be saying the BJP is winning. So as you're standing out there, Nikhil, there in Uttarakhand, is there a sense that people are more or less expecting what's going to happen tomorrow, or is there still some suspense and some doubt?
Well, Vikram, we're in Dehradun and it's been raining through the evening. Now, while the rain might have played spoiler this evening, about 65% of the people voted. So let's go straight to the people. आप ये बताइए, बारिश के कीचड़ पे क्या कमल का फूल खिलने वाला है कल?
Yes, लगता था। उत्तराखंड में लगता है कमल खिलेगा।
तो एग्जिट पोल के हिसाब से 5 में से 4 एग्जिट पोल ने तो बीजेपी का कहा है कि भारी मत से जीतेंगे। आपको क्या लगता है? आप तो कह रहे थे कि इतना मुश्किल, मतलब इतना आसान नहीं है प्रेडिक्ट करना।
देखिए, इतना आसान नहीं है क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल का हर बार मतलब ब्लंडर ही हुआ है मैक्सिमम टाइम। तो ये कह सकते हैं कि देखिए, इंडिविजुअल अगर हम देखें तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग लगती है, क्योंकि सीएम का जो फेस है बीजेपी का वो भी क्लियर नहीं है अभी कि बहुगुणा है या पुंदीर है या क्या है। तो इस तरीके से मुझे लगता है कि मतलब क्लैश टाइप की गवर्नमेंट हो सकती है, कोलिशन हो सकता है, या फिर चांसेस ये भी है कि कांग्रेस भी जीत जाए।
तो पिछली बार जो पॉइंट था वो कांग्रेस जो थी 1 सीट से जीती थी और फिर बसपा के गठबंधन से उन्होंने सरकार बनाई थी। इस बार तो एग्जिट पोल में ये बता रहे हैं कि बसपा को मुश्किल से 1 या 2 सीट मिलेगी। तो उनका क्या फैक्टर रहेगा इस बार? जो गठबंधन होंगे उनका क्या फैक्टर रहेगा इस बार?
इस बारे में कुछ कह सकता हूँ। इस बार बीजेपी में उत्तराखंड में कमल है।
So the sense that we're getting, Vikram, is that on the ground it's still very divided. Let's also remember that one of the 5 exit polls did suggest that it's going to be a clear tie between the BJP and the Congress. So let's wait and watch, I think.
Let's wait and watch. Probably the best advice that we should be doing. We'll, of course, get to know. 7 o'clock tomorrow is going to start counting. By 8:30, results will start coming out. Thank you all so much for joining us. Most of you will be with us again tomorrow to take us through the day and to see all the twists and turns as they actually happen. So thank you so much for joining us. We are going to take a very quick break right now, and then after that break, just talk very briefly to one of the more interesting people in this entire campaign, at least at the start of the whole thing, person who was partly blamed for that breakup in the Samajwadi Party, Amar Singh. We'll have a quick chat with him when we come back after this break. Welcome back to this special edition of the 9 o'clock news. Well, one of the key people in that entire split in the Samajwadi Party just before the elections, Amar Singh. So I spoke to him a little earlier in the day, and I began by asking him whether he agreed with the exit polls that by and large showed the BJP winning in Uttar Pradesh.
I'm absolutely cocksure about that aspect, and I'm not unnecessarily optimistic. It is based on ground reality because Uttar Pradesh has seen a usual pattern of politics, SP and its alternative as BSP and BSP and its alternative as SP. Now during SP regime, a certain section of backward community got benefited, and in BSP regime, a certain section, a particular section of Dalit got benefited. Other section of Dalits were ignored under previous BSP regimes, and other sections of other backward classes were totally ignored during SP regimes. So they have all collected, and collectively they have given support to BJP, and upper class is also solidly behind BJP this time.
So would you say that if the BJP wins, as the exit polls are saying, it will be because of that caste factor, or would you be giving credit to Narendra Modi and that campaign that he did?
No, I will say, I will give total credit to Mr. Narendra Modi only, because he has got the skill to identify the points, and he has got the skill to take advantage in a most positive manner, because he could see what others were seeing but not trying to rectify that.
Now, Mr. Amar Singh, you were also blamed for that split in the Samajwadi Party just before the election, which may have contributed to some sort of a distraction for that party.
Well, Vikram, I just don't understand one thing. I was not a candidate for Chief Ministership. I was not a candidate for national presidency of the party. I was not the candidate for the state presidency of the party. Everything remained in the family. Whether it is Shivpal, his own uncle, bloodline, whether it is Mulayam Singh ji, his own father, bloodline. So, bloodline was fighting with the bloodline. Akhilesh wanted everything. He wanted cycle symbol, he wanted hand symbol, now he wants elephant symbol. He wanted administrative power of the government, he wanted the organizational power and presidency of the father. And I don't have to clarify that I was simply made a scapegoat when all this was happening. I was in London holidaying with my kids. I was summoned there because I was converted into a poster boy of the blame. And subsequently when I clarified, and now after beloved wife and better half of Right Honorable Mulayam Singh ji has spoken, the main villain behind all this game is Ram Gopal Yadav. I have got nothing more to say or add.
All right, now there are of course some exit polls that are pointing to a hung assembly, and that means that there is a and some are referring to a possibility of a tie-up between the Samajwadi Party and the Bahujan Samaj Party, unlikely though that might seem.
It will be very difficult because for last 2 decades, Samajwadi Party and BSP, they are fighting, contesting guest house case in Supreme Court. So the son has taken everything from father, the administrative governmental position as well as the organizational head's position. Now if you would like to send him in jail to satisfy Bua Mayawati, then I don't know. And then the latest thing is the crude, vulgar comment of Muhammad Azam Khan, where he openly said that your nephew has grown young and he is a handsome young man.
Right.
You go and sit in his lap, you will enjoy it at most. You will enjoy it and you will get utmost pleasure.
All right, Mr. Amar Singh, always great talking to Amar Singh to get some sort of a sense of the perspective. Now, what's going to happen? Would that alliance possibility even exist? Well, let's see what happens. We will get to know the answer tomorrow, and only when the final numbers are out tomorrow will the picture be clear. According to some, not much, no scope is really going to be there for any alliances. The BJP is going to win. All answers tomorrow. Counting starts 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Do tune. Stay tuned.